Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth. We help you do work that you love and create actual amazing relationships. I'm your host today, Jade Warshaw, and I am joined by possibly my favorite, the incomparable George Campbell.
Wow, you hear that, Dr. John Maloney? Ken Coleman, are you listening?
Somewhere Ken Coleman is seething. I'm just kidding. But we're here to take your calls about your life, your money. Give us a call, man. The number is 888-825-5225. And let's go straight to the phone lines. We got Amber in Chattanooga, Tennessee. What's going on, Amber?
So I am starting to try to do the baby steps. Mm-hmm. And I am having trouble getting started with the first one. Every time I have money put up, something comes up to where I have to use that money because I don't have a choice.
So the first baby step for those of you listening is baby step 1, getting $1,000 saved. And so, Amber, you're having a hard time with that because you keep falling back and spending it. Am I right? And
correct.
Are you using a budget right now?
I am. I write down everything that I owe for each paycheck. I go, like if something's done from the first of the month to, say, the 19th, because I get paid every 2 weeks, I write what is owed in between those days. That way not everything's coming out of one check. Uh-huh. But it seems like, I try to calculate, my tithings and stuff for church, plus I want to put money back. It's like I can't get either one of those started.
Right. So when you are having to go into your emergency fund, what are the type of purchases that are causing you to do that? Are they unexpected charges, or is it just month-to-month stuff that you're like, man, I forgot to budget for that, and now here we are?
So I was actually starting to get ahead this last month. I had almost $500 put up, and my dog ended up starting having seizures. So I had to go take him to the vet, which was very, very unexpected. And, of course, I had already paid all my bills for that week, and that was the only money I had left to be able to take him to the vet to have him checked out.
So can I ask you, what's your income been? How much money are you bringing in?
So I've been working overtime at work, so my past 2 paychecks have been over $1,900 every 2 weeks.
Okay. So you're making almost $4,000 a month.
Correct.
Here's the thing for folks listening. When it comes to emergencies, the way that we think through whether something is an emergency where you would dip into that money is it's got to be totally unexpected. It's got to be something that's totally necessary, and it's got to be urgent. Right, George? Mm-hmm. And, so the dog was one example. Is there another example that you can give? Because I don't want to come at you hard, Amber, with the dog stuff just yet. So I want to know, is there another example?
Well, so the house we're living in, we just moved in this past July. We're trying to buy this house, so we're leasing to own this house.
Who's we?
And me and my husband and my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law lives with us.
Okay.
So she helps as far as the house expense.
Where is his income going?
Towards the house.
So y'all split bills?
We do split bills, but he's on disability, so he doesn't get much a month. So his whole check goes towards the house. We agreed to do that. That way we could put that up for the whole month, and then I take care of the rest of the bills.
I think that this sounds to me like a budgeting issue. I think that you guys need to combine your money together. So if you're making $4,000 a month, what if his is? How much is his?
His is a little over $1,300 a month.
Okay, so combine that income and do a budget together. I know that you're saying that, hey, all his money goes towards it, but having it all in one place on purpose. And then, you're just going to have to draw some lines in the sand and say, all right, we got to get this money saved. Most people are able to get $1,000 saved in 30 days. And so for you might have to go all out to get this money put aside, because if you're just kind of going little by little, little ankle biter stuff can pop up. But if you're like, I'm going to sell stuff, I'm going to pick up an extra job, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this $1,000 saved so that the big bad wolf is no longer, breathing at the door, you're going to have to do that. And then you're going to have to make sure that this budget is airtight. It sounds like your budget is not as detailed as it needs to be.
I think there's some money leaks happening.
Yeah, and there needs to be a line item for Fido. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure Rover has got some money that you're putting aside a little bit every month in like a little sinking fund so that when those vet bills pop up, because they will, you've got some money to pull from. At least that's what I would do, George.
Yeah, what are you using right now to budget, Amber?
So I've just been using a notebook that I write everything down. I wrote everything down that I owe every month, how much I pay each month. Plus, I also wrote down how much I owe as far as that debt goes.
Good. Well, I'll do you one better. And here's what I want y'all to do as a couple. This is not an Amber thing, and then he does his thing and covers his bill. Sit down together. I'm going to gift you 1 year of Every Dollar Premium. Inside of Every Dollar Premium, you're going to list out your income, your expenses, your debt, just like that notebook. But there's another feature on there called paycheck planning. And this will allow you to see where the bills fall, when the money's going to come out, because right now it feels overwhelming because you're trying to keep track of that. Let the robots do the work for you so you can focus on getting out of this situation. That means we're selling stuff because right now I'm seeing a whole bunch of margin. Even after the mortgage is paid, you got $3,800 left over and it's disappearing into the abyss.
Right.
Because of these little ankle biters and probably some lifestyle spending. Are y'all eating out?
No, I try to make everything at home.
Good. Are you guys investing at all?
No.
Okay, good. Are you getting a tax refund?
We did get that tax refund, and I paid off one of our loans that we was paying on, and that pretty much took all our tax refund.
But remember, baby steps, $1,000 goes first. So we have that with part of the refund?
We did.
Okay. So I think once you have that $1,000 as your foundation, our goal is to never touch that. If there's another emergency, let's see if we can cash flow it with future expense, with future income, with selling stuff. You're working overtime. Can he pitch in at all? Is he on board with this plan, or is it just Amber right now?
Pretty much it's just me right now.
I think that's part of the problem.
I do too.
And it's going to cause resentment down the road when you're busting your butt. And he's like, I don't know what you're working so hard for. Let's go out to eat tonight. You're like, I'm trying to do this budget thing, man. I'm trying to get us out of debt.
Yeah.
And that's where you guys need to be budgeting together.
And him being on disability really doesn't have anything to do with it. I kind of felt like she said that as well, he's on disability. He has this money. His money just goes towards that, as though it's not as big a part of it. But it is. If you're listening and you're a couple, you've got to combine your finances. Otherwise, you're just, it makes it so much more difficult, because I can tell in the way her voice, she feels like she's having to shoulder all of this. And
well, you live like roommates. Eventually, you're going to get that roommate resentment.
Yeah, that's true.
And so you got to act like married people. You can share a bed, you can share DNA, you can share a bank account. I promise you.
That's right. When
you can do it.
When you say I do, it's not just I do to the easy stuff. It's I do to the challenges. And money can be a challenge until you really start understanding what you need to do, until you get on the same page. But man, it's worth it.
So true. Well, hang on the line, Amber. Austin's going to pick up. We're going to get you Every Dollar Premium to help you get on track and get it from Notebook into the app where you guys can share this together.
I love it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Buying a home is one of the biggest decisions of your life. You need a partner like Churchill Mortgage. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country, and they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Churchill works with you to build a mortgage the Ramsey way, one that doesn't bust your budget, sets you up for financial success, and helps you get out of debt faster. Go to churchillmortgage.com today and get started.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm your host today, Jade Warshaw, joined by George Camel, fellow Ramsey personality. And George, all the time we get folks sending us things in our DMs. They're like, hey, you got to see this, whether it's money related, whether it's just something outrageous. And you came across something here recently.
Yes. I usually, when 10 people send me something within like 6 hours, I'm like, we got to talk about this. Apparently it's trending. I got to keep up with the times. And so thank you to all of you who follow us over at Jade Warshaw on Instagram, at George Camel with a K on Instagram. And usually people send me videos just to like rile me up.
Yeah.
But this one I thought was going to be a riler upper, and it was actually a funny parody video. But it perfectly sums up what people are seeing out there when it comes to financial advice on the internet. So I wanted to play it for you and get your reaction live.
Okay, I haven't seen this one yet. So let's play it, James.
The next time you're gonna order Uber Eats, don't use that $20 to buy a Mercedes G-Wagon. Why? Because you can write it off as a business expense for the LLC that you registered earlier in the morning. Now you're gonna drive that G-Wagon for 24 hours for Uber Eats delivering food. And then you're gonna use that money that you just made to get an FHA loan that you can get a rental property with. Once you get the rental property, you're gonna rent out all the 4 units. You're gonna sleep in the bathroom. This way you don't have to pay rent. And you're gonna use what's called monthly recurring revenue. That's passive income. Now, what you're gonna do with that passive income is buy my course.
Oh my gosh.
So finance gurus be like, is that how we sound?
No, that's not what we sound like. It's what the opposite side sounds like.
Those people, those gurus.
Yes. So let me just recap what this guy mentioned, and he just riddled off all of the get-rich-quick crap
Basically
that you guys hear on TikTok and Instagram. So he starts off talking about the Mercedes G-Wagon.
Yes.
Use that to drive with your LLC. So make an LLC once you get the G-Wagon. It's a tax write-off. You hear those all the time.
It's always an LLC.
Then you drive for Uber Eats. Use that money to get a nothing-down FHA loan, which you can use to buy a rental property. Then you house hack by having everyone else live in there. You live in the bathroom rent-free. And that's monthly recurring revenue,
gosh.
MRR, as we call it in the biz. That's passive income, baby. And then you use that to buy the guy's course. And that perfectly sums up how I feel about all of these financial guru idiots out there pitching their schemes.
Yeah, that's, you know what? That's the thing. If you watch one of these Instagram or TikTok videos and you don't get it instantly, like, to me, that's a red flag. Like, finance, it's not mystical. It's not like this thing that you've got to be like super smart to understand. This stuff should be simple. Like, managing your finances, the concepts are actually very, very simple. So when I hear something like that, I'm like, what? Why would you do that? Like, just be smarter. Like, be smarter than that.
Here's my general mantra with financial advice on the internet. If it sounds sexy, run away. If it sounds like work, it's probably the right thing to do. You're on the right path. If it looks like hard work and it makes me go, oh gosh, you're right.
Yeah.
If it convicts you. If it gets you excited, that's a sign that you need to run. That's a red flag. When they go, all right, first step to wealth, baby, get your Mercedes G-Wagon. I'm like, hey, all right, I'm picking up what he's putting down. What's next?
Yeah.
Get a rental property. Okay, that sounds slick.
Yeah.
We're making passive income now, Jade. It's so passive. You don't have to do anything.
When I hear the words passive income and quadplex, I'm done. I feel like I've heard the word quadplex far too many times.
I'm perplexed by all the plexes y'all are throwing out there.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
This is spot on. And so here's the thing. The best way to build wealth is by doing none of those things, and it's a lot of work. It's just getting out of debt, staying out of debt, investing for the future and things that have proven track records, and then just sleeping at night and going to a job you love. How's that for the American dream? Not using your G-Wagon as a tax write-off to form the LLC, and then you borrow from your own self tax-free, Jade, because debt isn't taxable. That's why you got to leverage debt, right? That's what they all tell you.
That's what they say. It's just, at the end of the day, it's get rich quick. And we don't preach any of that. We understand and we know that it's a process. We know that when you make the decision to handle your money well, when you put good habits to use, it takes time. Building wealth takes time. I mean, look at your story. You started out with what, $30,000, $40,000 in debt.
40 grand in debt.
Paid it off, but you were able over the course of how many years?
10 years.
10 years to turn a negative net worth into $1 million net worth. And it's none of the things, I know that was a parody, but it's none of the things that guy was preaching.
Well, what they preach is get rich fast, get out of debt slow. Hang on to it as long as possible. We're preaching get out of debt fast, get rich slow. it's so countercultural that it's now become controversial.
Yeah, it requires a paradigm shift in your mind 100%, because what we teach, it is not out there in culture. When I go on Instagram and the TikToks, everything is, you got to start investing now. Time is money. Yeah. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Is this really the best? Is this the best path that's going to get me there? I want to say the fastest, but there's so much more to it. It's not just going fast and wealth gained hastily will dwindle. That's what right. I'm thinking about in my mind right now.
Proverbs 13:11, wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. That's timeless. My man Solomon was doing Twitter before it was cool.
Okay, I know that's right.
Speaking in tweets.
All right, let's take a call. Let's talk to Mike. He's in Columbus, Ohio. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks so much for taking my call. My question is around buying a car. So my wife and I, we're on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. We don't have any debt except our mortgage.
Way to go.
We owe about $200 on our mortgage, and I really want a new car. The car is going to cost me about $40K, and I wanted to get it next year. But I'm conflicted. I keep going back and forth because it's like I can't justify paying that much for a car when I still have a mortgage. So my question is, should I pay the mortgage off and then quickly ramp up the savings to get a new car, or should I just go ahead and get the car?
What's your household income?
About $270 plus incentive can be up to about $30K.
Way to go.
That's very nice.
So how quickly could we pay off this house, making $270 with no debt?
So we did analysis. We did like 3 years. We can do it in like 3 years.
Wow.
I believe that, and I bet you could beat it. So here's the question. Can you wait 2 years to get this car, 3 years to get this car?
I think I can. The car I'm driving now is a beater. It's about 10 years old, but it's still running very, very well. But I keep getting embarrassed driving it, honestly.
Who are you trying to impress, Mike? You make $300,000, you have any debt?
I mean, let me ask this. Yeah. Do you have to go straight to the $40,000 car? Can you upgrade what you have now slightly and cash flow that and then save the big gift for after the mortgage is paid?
Yeah, so I thought about that as well, but then it's like if I want to get a car, I want to get something I really want, so I might as well just wait and just wait it out, So it's either wait it out or just get the car. Like,
here's the thing, Mike.
I've had the car for 8 years, so it's like I can wait 3 more at this point.
You're not violating any of the Ramsey principles. We're not mad at you. It's okay if you get the car. I'll tell you what I did. I dangled that mortgage in front of me until that was paid off to upgrade my little beater Honda Civic. And when I did it, it went from this I deserve mentality to I earned that. Let's celebrate. And so that's just how I'm wired. I'm wired where I need a goal in front of me. Otherwise, I get a little lazy. I get a lackadaisical. And so there's nothing wrong if you save up and pay cash for a $40,000 car making $270. There really isn't.
Okay.
If you're itching for it, go for it. But don't regret it either and go, man, I hate myself now for doing that. I could have paid down the mortgage. It's fine. When you move from baby step 3 to 4, it's from intense to intentional. And some people go harder at the mortgage like I did. Some people go, all right, it's going to get paid off within 2 years anyways. So let's upgrade the car.
And the rule of thumb there, when it comes to vehicles, things with a motor in it, you don't want it to be any more than 50% of your annual income. Things with a motor, because we know they go down in value. So with his case, I mean, he's got $270,000 in income, which is amazing. So buying a $40,000 car, I mean, I don't know what his other cars are worth, but I'm sure he's within reason here.
50% limit.
That's funny. It's funny. You guys are definitely cut from the same cloth because if it were Jade, I'd be like, I'm just going to, upgrade slightly if you're sick of driving a beater. And then I'd probably go all in. But But
it's kind of like baby step 1. I kind of like the fire under me of hating this beater so much that it drives me to pay off the mortgage faster. You get a mid-tier car that you're like, this is nice.
That's
and you
true.
Start going, everything's fine.
But it also matters how long it took you to pay off the debt. It matters how long you were in the process before, because some folks, by the time they pay off the debt, they're like, I need something. I need to feel like I've rewarded myself.
Here's the thing, Jade. People call in and they're broke, and they're like, I'm about to buy a $60,000 car. Mike's over here making $300 with no debt going, hey, can I buy a $40,000 car?
I love it. Yet again, it boils down to when you do this stuff, guys, you have options. You get to ask fun questions like that. Can I buy a $40,000 car now, or can I buy it later? This is The Ramsey Show.
Y'all, there's a lot you can't control when it comes to healthcare, but there is something you should check out that can help. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not insurance. It is budget-friendly, biblically based health cost sharing. That means a community of members helping share the burden of each other's healthcare costs. They help people just like you in all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Learn more today at chministries.org/budget.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I am your host, Ramsey personality Jade Warshaw, joined by George Campbell. And George, during the break, we had some lively discussion about, honestly, just the state of personal finance right now. All you have to do is turn on the news for a second to hear inflation, all-time high, mortgage rates. You know, folks are going crazy. And it's just, here's the thing. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with the economy. There's a lot going on with the government. And you kind of just have to choose how it's going to affect you. And we did a segment a while back and we called it the perfect storm of stupid. And I like that. And I think it's time to talk about it again, George, because we're seeing this. And the stats have come out. A record 69% of the public at this time holds a negative view about the economy. So ask yourself, whether you're driving in your car right now, you're watching on YouTube, is that you? Do you have a negative view of the economy right now? The stats tell us you probably do, both now and in the future.
Because of the headlines.
Because of headlines, exactly. And only 24%, we're just going to go through this and tell you guys, 24% are saying they don't feel like now is a good time to invest in stocks.
Oh, they're saying now is a good time,
which
which
they're
means
saying now is a good time.
76% say it's not a good time.
Yeah, they're wrong. They're wrong.
3 out of 4 people are saying, don't invest right now. It's a bad time to invest.
Which is really just the opposite, because I'm like, no, when the market is down, that's when you want to invest.
It's on sale.
We
love a sale. That's the kind of sale I want to fall for.
Yeah, and there's just so many things going on. It says many people aren't cutting their expenses and they're keeping their lifestyle the same, even though, like I said, you can throw a rock and hit somebody who's going to complain about inflation. You can throw a rock and hit somebody who's going to complain about mortgage prices, complain about the cost of a vehicle, complain about their wages, but at the same time, no one's doing anything to fix it, George.
Well, they're cutting back on retirement. This is wild. Historically, high inflation forced, I love that term. They were absolutely forced a quarter of Americans to slash their retirement savings and a full 12% to quit saving entirely over the last year. But on the other side, we also have record high credit card debt.
Yep.
We're seeing record numbers of HELOCs being taken out. And record numbers of buy now, pay later.
When you say I want to hit this number, George, because when you say record numbers of credit card debt, I need you to understand it's almost a trillion with a T.
That's 1,000 billions, and a billion is 1,000 millions, which mean your brain just exploded with zeros.
Yeah.
That's just what happened right there.
So what this is telling us, George, is people know there's a problem. They feel there's a problem, but they're going to the wrong solution. Instead of saying, hey, I'm going to stop borrowing credit card debt, or hey, I'm not going to take out any more of the equity on my home. Instead, they're doing things like pulling back on their investing, using their savings. You feel that there's a problem, but you're using the wrong solution in order to solve it. So let's try to help these people and understand what you need to be doing.
Well, there's a paradigm shift that has to happen first, because we can tell people, hey, you should get out of debt. You should save for emergencies. That's all good and well. But until you believe that there is hope for the future, until you believe that the American economy will recover like it always has, and time again, then you're not going to do anything about it. When you listen to hope stealers and you just become a victim, right? If inflation is the villain, then you're always going to be a victim.
I love that. That's so true. You need to say that again, George. These folks need to hear that again.
If inflation is your villain, then you will always be a victim. Because guess what? Inflation ain't going anywhere.
No.
It's been here since the beginning of time.
It's just a little higher.
There's dinosaurs and inflation.
Yep.
So it's not going anywhere. It's been higher than it has been in the past. But if you are really, your life is out of control because inflation is up 4% higher than it has been, then you are already screwed financially.
That's right. That's such a good point. You know, I'm not going to sit back here and act like these things that are taking place aren't real. Yes, like people are feeling the pinch of inflation. That's a real thing. People are feeling like they can't spend their money as willy-nilly as they once did, because that is the fact. Like there is a pinch going on right now. But I think the point you made, George, is true. These things, they happen in cycles, right? There's always times when the market is down. It always rebounds back up. But you've got to understand that that's just part of this thing. And if you are going to continually take those reasons and say, this is the reason that I can't get out of debt, this is the reason that I've got to, use credit cards to get by, or then those reasons are just turning into excuses for you. Yeah. Because at some point you've got to make that transition and go, okay, what can I personally do? Because I'm the type of person, whatever it is that you're whining and complaining about, there's probably something that you can do personally to change it for the better, instead of waiting for some external factor to come in, whether it be the government or whether it be for your job to give you a raise, because they may not give you a raise.
You're telling me the boss and the government aren't going to change my life? Come on, Jade. Here's the thing. The people who are complaining, these are the same people who fall into these stats. Americans spent 20.7% more at restaurants than they spent on groceries in 2022.
Now, there it is. Wait a second.
Hold on. So we're all struggling, and so we're going to go eat out because that's the solution.
Well, George,
to our spending problem.
It's cheaper to eat. I got to say this in a voice. George, it's cheaper to eat in a restaurant. My time is worth more than that. I can't be at home making food. My time is more valuable than that.
They just put the YouTube sound effect on. That is every YouTube commenter, every TikToker out there. And then, Jade, on travel, right? Revenge travel's back. Delta reported record advance bookings for summer travel, despite industry-wide inflation and fares. So air travel is the most expensive it's been in a long time. And we're all out there going, we're going to book this thing 6 months out on the credit card because we're going to get the points. We're going to use the points. We're going to hack the system. Bro, the system is hacking you.
It's hacking you.
You're the hack.
Yeah,
it's insane.
This is like an intellectual inconsistency, because on this side you're saying, oh, it's a problem. This is not fair. But then over there it's like, yeah, but it must not be that much of a problem because I'm still going to restaurants. I'm still going on a trip to Hawaii, and I'm still going to take out a car note for $717 because that's the price of the average car note right now.
And then let's talk about the economy, Jade, because this is the true fear. But I have some perspective to share that I think will make everyone feel better.
What?
These are real numbers. In the last 40 years, the S&P 500, which is the index that is used to really track the stock market in the U.S., in the last 40 years, the S&P 500 was up 32 of those 40 years.
That's right.
And get this, 22 of those years, there was a return greater than 12%.
Wow.
Everyone out there is going, what do you mean you're making 12? Well, dude, you're looking at your 401k in the last year or two. Mm-hmm. Have some perspective. The S&P 500 was up over 12% for 22 out of the last 40 years. I'm not betting against the American economy, and I don't think you should either.
And when you look at it, the years that it was down, the next year, it's rebounded right back up.
So when it's down, you're buying on sale. When it's up, you are making some sweet coin.
Yeah.
And that's how you build wealth. You just leave it. Don't touch it. Don't pull it out because you're scared, because you saw a headline. And especially don't turn to buy now, pay later and HELOCs as some kind of solution to all your problems.
Please. I feel like we need to give these people what the true solution is. Because, George, you and I know it. Like I said, you guys feel that there's a problem. And you're right. There is a problem. But the solution is not borrowing more money. You cannot borrow your way out of debt. You cannot borrow your way out of financial strain. You've got to actually draw a line in the sand. You've got to stop borrowing money. And if you didn't hear, we just announced something that's very, very, very excited. Me, all the other personalities, George included, Rachel Cruz, Ken Coleman, John Deloney, all of us are excited about this thing that we're doing, guys. We are hosting Financial Peace University. All of us, we're all doing our own class, and we want you to join because we understand how this can affect your life. I got to do this last month with a group of folks, and George, the average turnaround was $10,000 in 5 weeks.
In debt paid off and dollars saved.
Yeah,
5 weeks,
yes.
10 grand.
10 grand per household.
Wow.
5 weeks.
Now think about that. Think about how that would change your life. If you weren't worried about inflation, because you had a $10,000 turnaround, you see the debt going away, you see the savings build up, and you go, I'm less worried about the headlines because that's not what changes my life.
I mean, this financial peace class, if you're listening, we will, give you the link that is also on the YouTube page. My class starts May 8th. George, yours starts June 20th. And you can go online and sign up, fpu.com. Check it out. Sign up today, guys. This is what helped us get out. This is what helped my husband and I pay off almost $500,000 of debt. This is what helped George pay off over $30,000 of debt. This is the plan, and the plan works. Sign up today. This is your way out. Don't be complaining anymore because we just gave you the solution.
You're not going to have an excuse after you go through our FBU class.
This is the game right here. It's your chance to sign up. Head over to the website now and do that, financialpeace.com. This is The Ramsey Show. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I am Jade Warshaw, your host today. I am joined by fellow Ramsey personality, George Camel, and we are taking your calls. Give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225. And I've got William in Atlanta, Georgia. ATL, what's going on, William?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. I just want to start off by thanking you guys for what the entire Ramsey team does. I mean, when I look at where my wife and I are financially at 25 compared to our peers or even those approaching retirement, it brings us an incredible level of peace knowing where we are. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
So I trust the Ramsey team. So that is why I have a question about our HOA. My wife and I just purchased our first property, and it is a high-rise condo that we will use as a rental property when we pay it off. It's in a fantastic location. The amenities are top-notch, gym, pool, movie theaters, great staff. It's clean. But one of the things that I don't hear often when HOAs are discussed on the show or in the comments on YouTube is, the HOA can kind of help control the type of people you're living with, which tend to be, high-functioning, high-performing professionals, which matters to me. So that is why I was able to rationalize getting into an HOA, but I also recognize being in my mid-20s, having zero life experience in the real estate space and no wisdom in real estate. But what I had just laid out made sense to me, and we pay $650 a month, but we're only a couple months in. We just purchased, and seeing a recent conversation Dave had with a caller on being in an HOA made me think we may have stepped into something we should not have. So we can afford the HOA. We've studied the financials, and everything checks out. But I'm just kind of wondering, what could I be missing here? What are the dangers that I'm not thinking about?
Well, what's your mortgage payment with all of the property taxes, homeowners insurance, everything included, interest?
Yeah, $2,500.
And then plus the $650, and that puts us at $3,150 a month all in.
Yes, sir.
And then what's your after-tax monthly income?
After-tax monthly income, we're right around $12,000.
So then you tell me then, what's your hesitation on this? Because we tell folks, when you're purchasing a mortgage, you don't want it all in, talking about taxes, fees, HOA, payment. You don't want it to be more than 25% of your take home. And you're under that.
You're right at 26. So you're pretty much spot on.
So
yeah. I mean, we're good in that. I'm comfortable with that. It's more so just hearing that conversation the other day made me question whether or not there may be something that I'm missing being in an HOA. For example, an unexpected cost comes up where they're going to force us to pay a certain amount of money.
Yeah, everyone goes, all right, we all got to chip in $10,000 to cover this. Mm-hmm. So that's a part of being a part of an HOA.
Mm-hmm. The fee can go up. Absolutely. So there is some risk there. Is there anything else? I mean, at this point, I guess my question is it enough that it would make you move on because you're in the condo now?
Right. No, it's not. And again, it's fine. We can afford it. And we just got into our professional career, so our professional income is only going to grow from here. And so I'm not too worried about the HOA going up. I'm more so wondering what other potential dangers there are being in an HOA or being a homeowner in an HOA that I may not have considered.
I wouldn't call it dangers. It's just more the annoyances of like, all right, we got to follow the HOA rules. If they say we can't paint the door red, we can't paint the door red. And so, there's all the kind of the Parks and Rec level pettiness that goes along with HOAs and the meetings and the frustrations. But I've had an HOA on every single home I've owned.
Same. And honestly, William, the way Sam and I have tackled that is usually Sam becomes part of the HOA. He tries to get on the board so that he can have kind of a control, a little bit of a say in what's going on and kind of see what's going on sooner than the other members might know what's going on. So I feel like if it's something like that, you might want to see if you can get involved in it. But I'm like George, I wouldn't say it's a danger. Just know that it's a variable cost and it has the ability to change over time, as do, your taxes could change over time. There's things that can change when it comes to a mortgage. So that's why we teach it the way we do, because we want to make sure that you do have plenty of margin if something like that were to take place. But very, very good question.
I like that. If you're worried about it, get involved with it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like William's about to be the newest member of the HOA. Very excited for him.
He seems like he would make a good HOA
but
member.
It feels like presidency. You can only last a certain number of years in the HOA before you're like, all right, I'm out, guys. I did my part.
Well, as long as you do a good job. If you do a good job, you can stick around for a while. But I'll tell you, the houses we've moved in, the HOA, man, sometimes it's like, y'all aren't doing anything. We're just giving you our money. And a lot of times you come in and there's just a giant pool of money. They're not doing what they should be with it. I'm like, can y'all replace the sign in the front? Can we get some new trees planted here? Can we rip? And sometimes it is a good idea to get involved with your HOA because you can have a say-so in things and you can get the ball rolling on things and make sure that your money is being spent the way at least you want it to be spent, and you can convince others.
It's like Congress,
of that as well.
but you have a little more involvement.
That's right.
I don't agree with how they spend, but I can raise my voice and say I don't like it.
Well, guys, if you're a new listener and you want to dive deeper into the Ramsey baby steps, we want you to go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. Probably today you've heard George and I talk about all sorts of things. We talk the lingo around here. We're talking about baby steps. We're talking about different rules, and it's kind of a Ramsey thing, and we don't want you to miss out. So go to RamseySolutions.com and click that Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the next best step for you on your financial journey based on exactly where you're at today. So that's RamseySolutions.com/get started. And as always, we love that you guys listen to the show. We're here because y'all are here. We wouldn't have a show if you didn't listen. So we're extremely grateful that you guys tune in day after day, whether it be podcast, YouTube, whatever it is. But hey, we want you to share the show. We want you to tell other folks about this if it's helped you, if you enjoy it, or maybe you just find it entertaining. Just click the like button, click the share button on whatever platform that you're listening. We would really, really appreciate that. So let's take another call real quick. We got Neil from St. Louis, Missouri. What's going on, Neil?
Hey, I have a question. I was wondering about getting a HELOC loan on my house.
No!
For a home addition.
No!
What's this addition?
All right, so I have a house I bought for $130,000. Really good, interest rate, whatever. I got 5 kids and a 6th one on the way. My house is only 1,200 square foot. So I figured spend another $50,000-$60,000 grand would be cheaper than going to buy like a $300,000 house. So
you're going to basically build a mini house on top of your house for $50,000.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm a contractor, so I can do a lot of work myself. So it cost me like $50,000-$60,000 grand to hire out like the stuff I can't do, like foundation and stuff.
Do you have any debt?
But, I think, I got just my home, and then since I have so many kids so fast, I bought a big van for $25,000. I got a loan on that, but I have cash sitting there where I could pay it off. I just haven't.
How much cash do you have in the bank?
I got like $30,000 in my bank, and then like $40,000 in investments.
Are these non-retirement?
Yeah, just general mutual funds.
Okay.
And then cash in the bank for just like kind of on the side for business and payroll. I always like to have a big chunk just have for a couple months of payroll and stuff.
Okay. So here's an idea. I don't think you're going to do it, But I'll tell you what I would do if I was in your shoes, which is how we answer calls on this show. I would take that 70 grand. I would use a portion of it to pay off the van. I would then set up your fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then once I have the money beyond that to cash flow the renovation on the house, I would then do it. But I would not take a HELOC, putting your home at risk, paying stupid interest, and setting you backwards financially.
That's true. And the money that you have set aside, I agree with George wholeheartedly. The money that you have set aside that you said was maybe for payroll and business type expenses, I just want to make sure that you are managing that money properly and that you're keeping it separate from your personal money. And just know that whatever money that you pull extra from that, you're going to have to pay payroll taxes on it. So just understand what that's going to look like. And it's going to be a pretty penny of that because, Uncle Sam, he's going to make sure he gets his piece.
The old capital gains on those investments as you pull them out.
That's right. And definitely no non-retirement investments.
But investing my reserves feels like a terrible idea because if the market goes down, I'm screwed. That's dangerous.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. You want to have that cash on hand. Well, guys, that does it for today's show. Hey, be sure to join us next time. And until then, remember, you can tell me you won't do it, but please do not tell me that you can't. With God, all things are possible. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it is The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, we help people do work that they love, and we're helping you create and build actual amazing relationships. We want to talk about what's on your mind. We want to talk about your money. We want to talk about your relationships. Give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225. And let's just go straight to the phone lines. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw, joined by George Campbell, and we're going to take your calls. So let's talk to Sophia. She's in Baltimore, Maryland. What's going on, Sophia?
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for taking my call. I'm calling because I dislike my job. I want to quit. I want to find something that's more aligned with me, but I don't know if I'm financially in the place to do that. And I was wondering if you guys could help me figure that out and maybe make a plan for the next step.
Sure. Most definitely. So tell us about your job a little bit. What do you hate about it? What's the problem?
Sure. So I'm a government consultant. I work 8 hours a day at a desk. I just don't feel like I'm doing impactful work. I'm a people person. Everything's Zoom nowadays. And I just don't feel like I'm making an impact, and I just am drained every day at the end, and I'm not excited to get up to go to work the next day. But it pays really well, and I have really good benefits, and there's safety there. So,
what do you make?
$125,900.
Okay, plus the benefits. Do you think there's another place that would pay you $125 plus good benefits?
Yeah, but I don't know if what would satisfy like my soul and my heart and what I'm meant to do would ever pay that. So I think maybe there's like a little come to Jesus moment about just accepting that maybe for me to be happy, I need to accept making less money.
So what is that thing for you where regardless of money, if money was not an object, what would you be doing?
Honestly, like I bought a home a couple years ago, and I love working on it. I love like flipping houses. I love doing a lot of hands-on work. I would maybe event planning, teaching. I love to teach. I would love to teach at like a community college or something. Those are the big ones for me. But I'm also at a point where I'm figuring out, what is my true calling. So I'm still in that limbo phase.
So is it, you said flipping, you love creative things, events, teaching. So is it like transformation that you like to see? Is that that's the common thing that I see there?
Returns. I don't like working on something for years and maybe not really seeing results. And I like helping people.
That's the government.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm jaded now.
Are you single? Are you married?
I have a boyfriend, but he's definitely going to be my husband.
Awesome.
Okay.
Call me in a couple years.
So tell us about your financial situation. Do you have any debt? Do you have any savings?
Yeah, so I would be what you called a stupid butt or whatever. I've made some bad choices. In sum, I'm about $307,000 in debt, but the majority of that is house.
Okay.
So
Aside from the house, what's left in consumer?
So I have about $1,500 credit card. I have a payment plan for a treadmill that I got. I know, stupid. And then also I needed some roof work done. I have a slate roof, so that was really expensive. So I have $1,500 payment on that. I have...
Well, the payment is $1,500. What's the total amount of the roof?
Total amount of the roofing work was $1,500.
Okay.
I took another loan when I was buying my house. Again, stupid. I can't believe I have to say this out loud. Definitely come to Jesus moment. Out on my term life, I took some cash out to help me get my $25,000 down payment on my house, and then I owe my dad $4,000. He doesn't want it back, but I want to pay him back. He helped me buy my first
So what's
car.
the total amount of consumer debt you have?
Everything
You added it up.
Would be about $45,000.
Whoa. So there was
But
some
I have a
numbers in
plan.
there you weren't mentioning. I was like, oh, that looks like 10 grand or so here.
Yes.
Do you
Yes,
have any
well,
money
then
set
there's the
aside?
car.
Do you have any money set aside
the
for
car.
savings?
I have my $1,000 emergency fund, and I'm in the middle of paying everything off. So I have a car loan and then also a personal loan. Stupid. I know. Stupid. But
It's
I
okay.
have,
It's okay, Sophia. Don't beat yourself up.
We'll do
We've
that
all
for
been
you.
there.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're not going to yell at you
but I
today.
have a plan.
What's your
I
plan?
have a plan. So I basically have, end of the month, I have about $3,000 cash balance left over after all of my budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just been throwing that at my, smallest debt. So I'm at that
That's
phase,
right.
the snowballing. But my car, $17,000 left in debt. It's about $24,000 in value. I kind of thinking, sell the car, pay off the debt.
Sell it.
Right? And
Yeah.
then just be able to pay cash on a smaller car that's just reliable and
Yes.
doesn't need to be fancy. But
Here's the thing. When you
because
look
I
at
have
that
my
car and go,
personal
that's
loan of
what's
like
keeping me
$19,000.
from the next job, that makes me want to sell the car even more.
Heck yeah. We got to get to this
yeah.
place of happiness where you're feeling content with what you
Yeah.
do on a daily basis.
So there's a twofold plan here. Number one is the baby steps, which you're currently following. Stay on track for that. Sell the treadmill, sell the car.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I would be sharpening up the resume. I'd be looking for jobs out there, even if it's a slight pay cut for now.
Now,
What about not having 3 to 6 months emergency savings? Is that
you need that eventually.
okay to look for a new job while not having that safety net?
You're not going to just quit willy-nilly with no job lined up. That's what we don't want, is a gap in income. So as long as there's no gap in income, you'll be okay. You can switch jobs while in the baby steps. Absolutely.
You can, but you also have to look at the opportunity cost there, because right now you've got a $3,000 margin. And if we really look at this and figure out how long you can realistically pay off this $45,000 of debt, it might be worth it. Now, this is just me. You've been in this job. It might be worth it to stick it out another year to get this debt gone. And then when you transition, get that 3 to 6 months saved up. And then when you transition, it can feel a lot more peaceful and you can just really just step into this new phase of life.
Yeah.
So there's something to think about there. Because remember, from what you've said, and we haven't done the research fully yet, but you think that you're going to take a decent pay cut. You might not. You need to check and see what's out there. But if you do find that it's maybe your pay starts in half because you're starting at the bottom, you have to weigh that out and go, is it going to be worth it for me to go from a $3,000 margin to a $1,500 or $1,000 margin? Only you can decide that. But I am always about getting out of debt as quickly as possible.
And you can go do event planning on the side. You can help event planners on the side and get your feet wet and also create a little extra income.
Like that.
Yeah. I also do some grading for a university, so I get between $1,000 and $5,000 per semester for grading. And
awesome.
I have a whole life policy that I can cash in, because I know you guys aren't into life insurance and whole life especially. But if I
just
cash
make
it
sure
in
you've got the term life coverage. Make sure you've got the term life coverage in place before you cancel the whole life on that. And I think this is really exciting for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay.
Thanks for the call.
I think I'm going to get rid of the car.
Do it.
Wow, I love a live amputation on air. That feels good. I feel freer,
She
lighter.
amputated the car. That's exciting. I think she's really going to change her life here. I want to give her Paycheck to Purpose. If she's
Love
still on the
it.
line, Austin, will you pick up and give her Ken's book, Paycheck to Purpose?
And Ken's Get Clear assessment.
Ooh, I like that even
the
better.
both and combo from our friend Ken Coleman. That's going to help you find work you love.
I love it. Man, she's on the right track. I'm excited for her. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save 45% off selected products. Visit Blinds.com today for more info.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm your host today, Jade Warshaw, Ramsey personality, and I'm joined by George Campbell, my host. And I think we want to just go straight to the calls today. So if you want to give us a call, we'll talk about your life and money. You can give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225. Give us a call and we'll chop it up with you. In the meantime, let's go to Noah. He's in Tampa, Florida. Let's see what Noah's talking about. What's going on, Noah?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, no problem. How can we help?
Yeah, got a quick question. So I currently have a truck that's on lease, and it's due at the end of the year. I'm able to make the payments and still put away 15% of my retirement and still stack up in my emergency fund. But I like the idea of aggressively putting away more money. Due to the current market conditions with the auto and the cars, I'm sure you guys know, I have equity in the truck. So I was thinking of getting out of the lease early while I'm up and buying a junker instead. Should I wait to pay the truck off at the end of the lease, or should I just buy a junker now?
If I'm you, if I can get out of it and not have to pay, I'm getting out of it.
So you've got to find out the early buyout amount. Have you done that homework?
I have, yes, sir.
What's that amount?
The buyout's going to be $30,000.
And how much money do you have right now?
I have about $70,000 in savings.
Heck yeah. I'm for sure doing that. What's the truck worth?
The truck is worth $42,000.
So we do the early buyout, which is $30,000. We can then sell it for $42,000 and net $12,000, and that'll buy us a car, right? Plus, if you have, do you have any other debt?
Just my mortgage. That's it.
Great.
That's
so
good.
Essentially, you would actually be a baby step 4 tomorrow if you got rid of this car and got a junker. Because right now you've been doing all the steps at once.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'm only hung up on if I should get the junker or if I should pay it off and then work at getting the amount put back in my savings account that I used to pay off the truck. That was my only cost.
What's your income?
About $175 right now.
Do you like the truck? Do you want to keep it?
I really do like the truck. I had it since 2001, right before everything started going crazy for COVID. So I really do enjoy the truck. I love it a lot. I live here in Florida, where the truck is pretty of a utility.
So why not keep the truck?
I'm not mad at that.
That's what I was thinking, but my only thing was if I should save the rest, just buy a junker for 15 and take the difference and just put it back into my savings account.
What's
or
the savings for?
Nothing. I don't have any kids or anything, just to have it, more or less.
Let's walk through this. You keep the truck. You're down to $40K in savings, which we'll call 3 to 6 months of your emergency fund plus a little bit, right?
Yes, sir.
And we're back on track. Let's continue investing 15%. Any extra money we can throw at the house. So even in that savings account, anything beyond 6 months, I would throw at the mortgage.
And get that mortgage down as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, what's left on the mortgage?
200.
So you said you make 170?
175, yes, sir.
And so I start to get excited going, making 175, how quickly could I pay off a $200,000 mortgage?
Mm-hmm. I know that's
So I use your guys' calculator, and it comes out to about 4.5 years.
And I bet you'll beat that.
I bet so too.
Yeah.
And so
that's my only expense right now.
Yeah, I'm following this plan. You like the truck, keep it. There's no need to go buy a junker that you hate that you're going to want to upgrade and probably make a bad decision down the line. Just keep the truck. You make great money. It's not a big portion of your world. The thing we want is it to be paid off.
Very cool. I love that call. Again, options, George. We see this all the time. A very cool call when you can keep the car.
Well, it's great when they actually want to get out of debt. A lot of the times they go, why would I pay off the car, Jade, when I can make more in my investments? I'm like, oh, you found the secret formula to always make money in the stock market. Tell us more, my friend.
Please. I love it.
Stock market was down 18% last year. Everyone's going, well, Jade, I can make more in the stock market.
Well, that's funny. I feel like that's one of those arguments when they want it to work, it works, and when it doesn't. Because when we tell you to invest your car payment, instead of paying $717 a month, suddenly people are like, you can't make any money on the stock market.
That's right.
I'm like, what's happening here? It's got to work on both sides.
The train can't leave Justification Station for a lot of folks out there. We're stuck.
Oh, my gosh. Well, today's question of the day is sponsored by Neighborly. This is your hub for home services. If you own rental properties, Neighborly's local real property management offices can manage them and help you optimize your ROI and your peace of mind. Visit neighborly.com to schedule a consultation with real property management pros near you.
Today's question comes from Nick in Florida. I know you don't recommend credit cards, but what are your thoughts on debit card, extra, and prepaid charge cards that say they help build your credit? So Extra is the name of a specific debit card company out there that kind of operates like a credit card by helping you build your credit because they spot you. So
It's
Jade wants to make a purchase and you temporarily go into debt and then they'll spot you and pay it off quickly. And so that's the idea behind Extra. And it's similar to some of these prepaid charge cards, secured. It's technically not one of these secured credit cards.
Yeah.
And the way secured credit cards work is you pay an upfront deposit of 1 to 2 times your credit limit. And if you don't pay, they keep your deposit. That's what makes it secured. There's collateral involved.
Yeah, but with these extra cards, here's what I don't like. I don't like that they're marketing it as a debit card because technically that makes it sound like you're using your own card and they're just monitoring your accounts. And that's not true at all. You do have to spend on their account.
Yep.
And I don't know. I actually called Extra because I wanted to know more about this because I've had other people ask about this. And I asked him, I was like, so how does this work? And he was like, you spend the money on our card first, and then we go back in your account and pull the funds out. But it can take up to 3 days for them to pull that money out. So if from the time that you make that purchase, as many times do, if something comes out of your account unexpected and suddenly you can't fit the bill for $300 or however much you spent on your Extra card, suddenly that has the ability to go to collections, and they'll send it to collections within 30 days.
Yes. And so the heart of this is to build credit. The people who are using this product, they have bad credit. They have mismanaged money. They haven't made payments. And so they're going, well, I may not be able to get the credit card. It has higher interest. So I'm going to turn to this Extra card. Here's the problem. Extra ain't free. It costs you $240 to $300 a year, depending on the plan you choose. And then the other thing they get you with is, we have rewards too. So they're using the same marketing tactics as the credit card companies to get you to overspend with money you already didn't have, which is part of the reason you have bad credit to begin with. That makes sense.
I mean, there's even been, yes, it's the bad credit people, but then there's even been people who are like, hey, I'm kind of like doing you guys' plan-ish, but I still kind of care about my credit score. Maybe I can use this to still kind of have a credit score, even though I don't want to borrow money, in quotes. And I think like that's just one of those dangerous things where it's like, hey, you gotta buy all into this. You either are saying, I'm living a life without debt. I don't care about my credit score and I can rock my life with a 0 credit score, or you're on the fence and you're playing these games where you mess around and get burned, man.
Yeah. At the heart of the question of building my credit, the solution is not to build your credit, it's to get rid of it.
Facts.
And that scares so many people because we've believed the myth and we've touted this myth that FICO is almighty and you got to have a good score to survive. And I'm out here going, why do you need a score for? To go into more debt? And what does debt do? Helps you get a better score if you pay it off perfectly and play kissy face with the bank so that you can go get more debt.
Yes.
And the only legitimate question is, well, how do I get a house without a credit score? And I made a whole video about this on my new YouTube channel, Jade, because I was so angry at everyone going, this guy's lying, after I said, no, I'm telling you I did it. I'm not like pitching this as a theory. Jade has done this too.
Yes, and I have to say this because I'm going to catch the flack for it, but I see you guys in the comments talking about, well, George, it's easy for you. You've got white skin. No, I'm going to squash that. I'm going to put the smoke on that right now.
Thank you.
It does not matter what you look like. If you are out here in these Americas, in this United States, you can pay off your debt. You can live a life with no credit. You can get a 0 credit score loan. I did it. I've done it before. So don't just say, oh, George did it because of the way he looks.
Don't be judging
That's
a book
false.
by its cover. My dad's from Egypt, okay? I know another language. What do you know? Jack squat.
Okay.
Pipe down in the comment section.
Come through, George. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Speak up on that. And
when
it's
Jade's
true.
here, I feel brave.
And the thing is, we're not trying to yell at you. We just want you to know what's possible. We don't want you to believe all that noise out there that says that it's impossible for somebody, quote, someone like me to get ahead. That's not true. We believe more for you. This is The Ramsey Show.
We've been doing business at Ramsey for more than 30 years. By now, we're a well-oiled machine, but it wasn't always that way. Yes, we've always had a vision, always had determination, and a drive to help people. But what we didn't have was one central place to access all our numbers so that we could get further ahead or quickly see when we needed to pivot. We were always jumping back and forth between different systems and spreadsheets. So when NetSuite by Oracle helped us wrangle our revenue, inventory, expenses, and more into one place, it was a game changer. And NetSuite's #1 cloud financial system can help your business gain the same visibility, because businesses thrive on timely data. And NetSuite's real-time analytics can help your business have immediate access to your numbers daily, so you always know where you stand and you can move quickly. So go to netsuite.com/Ramsey today and set up a free product tour. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm your host today, Jade Warshaw, Ramsey personality, and I'm joined by one of my favorite co-hosts of all time, George Camel.
Wow.
I'm talking to you.
It means a lot. There's only like 4 you can choose from, so I appreciate being one of them at least.
You know that you're in the top 4. That's great. We're taking calls today about your life, your money. Give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225. George, it's National Financial Literacy Month. The cool kids call it FinLit-A, and we're taking...
I don't think I'm one of those kids, but you are. You can do that.
Look, somebody said that to me the other day. I was like, what the heck are you talking about? And they're like, financial literacy. I was like, well, why didn't we just call it that? But the cool kids say FinLit, and we're talking today, taking today to celebrate that. Financial literacy is very, very, very important stuff, guys. And it needs to be taught in school. I don't know about you, but I'm one of those folks who is like, I didn't learn it.
Didn't learn a dang thing. I got the Pythagorean theorem down pat, but I have no clue how to budget. Didn't know anything about taxes.
Wow.
None of it.
It's crazy. Why weren't we taught how to budget in school? Why didn't anyone tell us that we should stay away from credit cards or show us how to save money? They didn't do any of that. Think of all the dumb mistakes. I can think of a lot of dumb mistakes that I could have avoided if we had been taught this.
Well, the good news is we're changing the game out here.
Yes.
With our foundations and personal finance curriculum, which I had the pleasure of hosting. I got to meet some of the high schoolers that are going through this, Jade.
Yeah.
I was like a little celebrity to them. It was hilarious. I was like, y'all need to get out more.
Why were you a little celebrity?
Well, for obvious reasons. But obviously also, it's through a curriculum in a school.
Yes.
But the kids were like, man, I'm going to go to college debt free. I'm paying cash for my first car.
Woo!
And I was like, we got future millionaires here. And the curriculum is now taught in over 45% of schools in America.
That's
Our
incredible.
Curriculum. That gives me hope.
That's incredible. Well, this is really cool. Today, we have one of our foundation's teachers. She's on the line. We've got Michelle from Tulare, California, on line 5. Let's talk about it. What's going on, Michelle?
Good morning or good afternoon. I don't know what time zone you're in.
We're in Central Time Zone. Where are you?
We are in California.
All right.
So we're Pacific.
Cool. Well, I just, we wanted to take a moment and celebrate you today and just celebrate you and see what's going on. We want to know about what you're teaching your students and how many students you have in your class. Can you tell us?
Yeah, I teach at Accelerated Charter High School. It is a charter through our local district, and we are a credit recovery high school. So kids come to us their junior and senior year to help make up credits at an accelerated rate so that they can graduate on time or with their friends at their home school.
That's awesome.
That's really, really cool. So how many grades are you teaching? How many folks have been through this with you?
Well, this is our 7th year of existence. Mm-hmm. It is my 7th year teaching Ramsey Classroom. I started it when we had the workbooks and the videos on DVD that you showed the whole class.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And we have progressed. Yeah, seriously. And we have progressed to the online curriculum, and the kids can work on it at their own pace, or I can choose to watch or show the videos. And it just works out really, really well.
That's really exciting. So George mentioned before we brought you on that we had a bunch of students here yesterday, and they were just going on and on about, how it's affected them, and they're going to be future millionaires. Mm-hmm. Do you have any success stories that you want to share, whether from current students or previous students, about how this is really changing and impacting their lives?
It's changing students' lives tremendously. I have kids tell me, this is the only class that makes sense. It's the only class that applies to real world stuff. I have had several students come back to the school to, pick up paperwork, transcripts, whatnot. And if they see me, they say, hey, I'm following what you taught us. I'm using only cash. I don't have any debt. And I have friends who have debt, and they're miserable.
Wow.
So thank you for teaching me. I also want to point out that it's not the students who are the only ones benefiting from this. I benefited from it. I have no debt except for my house. Mm-hmm. And we have an administrator who has also taken the courses offered and has applied them and is also credit card free.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I also got to wonder how it's affecting the students' parents.
Oh, because the kids are now going, Mom and Dad, no, we're not going to use that credit card. You know what that's doing to you?
Do you hear stories about that, Michelle?
Are the parents upset with you going, what are you teaching my kid?
No, actually, when I meet with them, like at back to school night or, open house, that kind of thing, they actually thank me because their kids are helping them to budget their money better.
Wow.
That's something. I love
that. That gives me hope for the next generation. When the kids are keeping the parents accountable, we are doing something right in America.
I love this. So what's one of the most common questions that you get from your students when you're teaching this class? Like, is there anything that they're kind of hung up on, or is it
get excited about?
Yeah.
Oh, they're hung up on credit scores.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's crazy that a 16-year-old's already freaking out about their credit score. Right? They need to be freaking about their prom day, not their credit score.
Right. No, they because it's been early indoctrinated in them that they need to have a high credit score. Their parents tell them that. Their grandparents tell them that. Aunts and uncles tell them that. So when they come to me and I say something different, it ends up not an argument, but it becomes a lively discussion.
I bet.
It's a nice way to put it, Michelle.
I bet. Man. That's something. Well, Michelle, we're so grateful for you. You are, I mean, you said it yourself. You're out here changing lives. You're changing these children's lives. You've changed the lives of fellow teachers around you, probably impacting the parents as well. So we really, really thank you. Thanks for hanging with us, and thanks for coming on the line today with us today.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. It was my pleasure.
Absolutely. And for any teachers that are listening, don't forget to enter the Ramsey Teacher Appreciation Giveaway. It's sponsored by the Army National Guard. And one teacher, guys, is going to win a $5,000 vacation.
That's
George,
amazing.
that ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Let's go.
$5,000, and 2 more teachers will earn a $3,000 vacation. All you've got to do is go to RamseySolutions.com/teacher to enter. Again, RamseySolutions.com/teacher to enter. Man, that is cool. That's something right there.
Very exciting.
Whew.
Teachers are heroes.
They are heroes.
Just warms my heart talking to teachers. Gives me hope.
I agree. It gives me hope too. Well, let's go back to the phone lines. We got Jeffrey from Sacramento, California. What's going on, Jeffrey?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
How are you?
I'm doing well. So I've just recently tried to figure out what my 401k is, and I found out that I could switch it over to a Roth. So I did, but I was wondering what I should do with the $90,000 I have in it right now. Should I switch that over to a Roth and just pay the taxes on it now and just not worry about it? Or should I just keep letting that grow and deal with that when I retire?
Where are you at financially? You have any debt?
No, and my house is paid for.
Whoa!
Way to go!
Fantastic.
Wow.
How old are you?
I'm 35, but there's a caveat. I got into a really bad motorcycle accident, so I had a settlement payout.
So not the way you want to become debt free, but we're here.
No.
How are you doing now?
Yeah.
Like physically?
Physically, I lost the function of my right arm, so I am still with the same company, but I definitely decreased in my pay.
What's your household income now?
Household income is around 70 right now. It was around 120.
Okay. And do you have the cash to cover the tax bill for this conversion?
I believe yes, I do.
Okay. So this is the time we would say it would make sense to do a Roth conversion. When you're in baby step 7, you have no debt, including your home. It's all paid for, and you have the cash on hand to cover that tax bill. So I would be doing the math and get ready to pay that bill, but sure, roll it over, man. Okay. Retirement, that money's going to be all completely tax-free to you, which feels good when you look at that account number.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the call, Jeffrey. That's a good question. I think a lot of people wonder, when's a good time to roll over if you've got money that's sitting in a traditional and you want to roll it to a Roth.
Because we're always preaching Roth, but don't convert it until baby step 7 because you got priorities before baby step 7.
That's true. You got to wait till baby step 7 and then it's a good time to do it. That's a really great call. I think that's a question a lot of folks have. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. This is The Ramsey Show. You guys are listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm your host today, Jade Warshaw, joined by George Camel, fellow Ramsey personality. And here's a fact about Ramsey Solutions, and I'm super duper proud of this. We've never laid off anyone, ever. And I felt good about that coming into this role. I don't know about you, George Camel.
A lot of fear out there in the job market with all these companies doing layoffs.
Yeah.
No worries over here.
I know. I bet Dave feels good about that. For the past 30 years, we've been doing what we preach. We run a cash-based business here at Ramsey Solutions, which means that we budget for everything. That includes salaries, compensation for team members, and you deserve the right to work for someone that you trust. I believe that wholeheartedly. Someone who won't cut you loose because of their poor planning. Can I just interject?
Amen.
I was on a podcast today talking to a friend, and she's in the tech industry and got laid off. And she was explaining how it was like a little more than a text. It was like, hey, you don't work here anymore. And within 30 minutes, she was basically locked out of the company. No more access to email, no more access to just like that. And she said she had a sense that it was coming, and she had actually talked to a leader about it. I'm sensing this. And they said, no, everything's fine. Everything's good. And within a couple of weeks, out of there.
Wow.
Terrible. So you deserve to work for someone you can trust, someone who won't cut you loose because of their poor planning. And guess what? While other people are firing, Ramsey Solutions is still hiring. We have several open roles on our marketing, our sales and technology teams, and we need people like you to come join us. Come work alongside us. We're way more than just a radio show. We help people build real wealth. We help them do work that they love and create connected relationships in a common sense, but also in a very countercultural way, which you hear us talk about on the air all the time. If that sounds like something that you want to be part of, we would be honored for you to apply. Check out all of the open roles at RamseySolutions.com/careers, and you can apply at RamseySolutions.com/careers. That's what I did.
And it worked.
But
you got to be as awesome as Jade.
Well,
Or close to it.
We could talk about that later. In the meantime, we will take a call from Steven. He's in Asheville, North Carolina. What's going on, Steven?
Hey, Jade and George. Glad to be speaking with y'all.
You're
Honored
welcome.
to talk to you, man. What's going on?
So I was calling. My wife and I bought a house about a year ago, and I think I know that based on the Ramsey plan, it's definitely more than we can afford. We've been following you guys for a long time, and we're in steps 4 and 6 now. We don't have any kids. But I think the house that we have is a little bit more than, we kind of bit off more than we can chew. It's a 30-year mortgage. We're making the payments fine on the 30-year, but if it was a 15-year, it'd be kind of tight.
Mm-hmm. So how much are the payments, and also how much are you taking home every month after taxes?
So our take-home pay for the past couple years, really, it's been pretty steady, anywhere between like $7,200 and $7,600 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And the payment is like $1,749 a month.
And so
that's like 23% or so.
Down, so it's like 23-25%, but that's on a 30-year.
Sure.
So is the issue that you want to pay this mortgage as though it were a 15-year mortgage? Or are you considering? You're not considering refinancing. I'm guessing you just want to do it as a 15-year. Pay it as though it were.
So I guess my question is, should we sell it, and is it worth the whole selling it and paying the capital gains taxes on that and getting us into a home that is on a 15-year fix?
I don't think this is an on-fire situation, Stephen, which there's something deeper here going on, because as just the financials, the numbers here, you guys still have plenty of margin every month. You have no debt, and your mortgage payment's $1,750. You're making $7,500 a month. Where's all the other money going that you guys are feeling so tight?
Well, we've had some medical bills the past year, not anything major. I mean, there's been some dental work, little minor car repairs here and there. But if we were to take the extra, when I punch it in your calculator, we should be paying around $2,500 a month to pay it off in 15 years. And that kind of makes things tight. That puts us at 35 or 40%.
But that's what I'm confused about. That's an extra $750, right? So that's how much margin we need to pay it off like a 15. Why can't we find $750 out of $7,500?
I don't know. I was thinking it was more like $1,000 or $1,200. The math I did.
I'm just looking at the numbers you shared with me.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So let's attack this from a couple of thoughts. Number one, I'm with George. I'm wondering where this money is. So are we doing a budget still, or is it kind of like, hey, we're on baby step 4 and 6. We don't need that. We don't need that anymore.
Well, we don't need budgets.
No, we're in every dollar probably way too often. We look at it at least every weekend. We don't have the plus, so we're tracking all of our stuff on our own, all the expenses. But we're in every dollar. We do a monthly budget every single month. And it just seems like the things keep creeping up, and the mortgage isn't getting the extra attention that it should. We're putting 15% away. We are,
well,
that's my question. I don't know where it's going.
Here's the thing, and this is not just for you, Stephen. This is for anybody listening, because a lot of times, what do we hear all the time? I'm not sure where the money is going. It's just stuff happens and things pop up, and that's the way it is, almost as though we have no control of it. But we do have control over how that money is being spent. And if I'm real, it sounds like you guys are deciding if you're doing a budget, you're deciding how that money is being spent every month. And when you are in baby steps 4, 5, and 6, there is a level of intentionality that needs to take place if you want to pay off the mortgage. There are plenty of people who have caught on to the baby steps later in life, and they already had a 30-year mortgage. And the point is not for you to feel guilty or feel like, oh man, I did bad. And now, you don't have to rush out to change that. But of course, you do not want to take 30 years to pay off this mortgage. And I love that you're trying to pay it like a 15-year mortgage. And it's not to say that, I've got to sell this house and go get another house on a 15-year fix. Like, that's not what we're telling you to do. I think what you're attempting to do is great. Pay it as though it is a 15-year mortgage. But you've got to accept the fact that you're the one who sits down and writes that budget every month. So if the money is going somewhere, you decided where it went. And you've just got to go back in and say, okay, maybe our lifestyle has crept up a little bit more. Or maybe we're, and I'm not saying that there is not a time for it to creep up a little bit more. But if it's keeping you from doing an intentional act that you need to do, then it's time to rebalance that.
Absolutely. And Stephen, I'm going to gift you every dollar premium because you said you're using the free version right now. I think this will help when those transactions just immediately pop up. It's connected to your bank. You can also use their paycheck planning tool in there. There's some really cool financial roadmap and goals tools that will keep you on track. So if you'll use that, I'll give it to you for free. Hang on the line, and Austin and Skylar will pick up. We'll get that over to you. But this is a common question, Jade. People are going, I make good money. I'm even following the steps. Yeah. We don't have any debt. Where is our money going? So I like to do a little thing called the budget audit.
Ooh.
And it sounds scary, but it's kind of fun. And what you do is you have every single expense listed out. You have a zero-based budget. Income minus expenses equals zero.
Okay.
And then we ruthlessly go through every single line item.
Ruthless.
And go, are we doing the best we can with this category?
Yeah.
Do we still need it? Are we overpaying for insurance and we haven't shopped it with our friends over at Xander in a while? Let's go reshop our insurance premiums. Someone messaged me the other day. They said, dude, I did that. I saved $500
You
a
should
month.
do that every year.
Yes.
At least.
So that's one area. Food is the other area.
Yeah.
Even when you're in baby step 4 through 6, you can't just go eat out whenever you want.
No, you can't. You can't. It will add up faster than it'll make your head spin.
So those are the two biggest areas, is food and insurance, and then the subscriptions. Oh my, we're addicted. We got subscriptions for the subscriptions, Jade. It's out of control.
Can I admit something? My subscriptions, it's a lot. I have a lot of subscriptions, George. I have the subscriptions.
You have them. She has them all. She's collecting them.
I might need to do an audit of my subscriptions. So if I do it, y'all got to do it with me, okay?
I just did a video on my new YouTube channel about the streaming service wars and how we're all going to be casualties and how to rise above it. So, and I found out people are spending over $100 a month just on subscriptions.
Yeah, we don't need the Peacock app. We don't, not if we have Amazon. I'm talking to myself right now. Jade, you've got Amazon. You don't need Peacock. Jade, you've got Netflix. Do you really need Hulu?
Cut it.
Probably not.
The Wine of the Month Club, the Peloton, the Birchbox.
Now.
They're all over.
Don't put me on. Don't put that evil on me, George, because I don't have Birchbox and I don't have Peloton, but I do have Scentbird. Ooh, I know.
That's for another time.
I know. All right. That does it for this hour, guys. Be sure to join us next time. And remember this, when it comes to changing your life and your money, you can tell me that you won't do it, but do not tell me that you can't. With God, all things are possible.
Hey, George Camel here. If you love the show and you want a deeper dive on your money journey, we've got a weekly newsletter that gives you helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for the newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, we help you do work that you love, and we're helping you build actual amazing relationships, not just TikTok and Facebook and Instagram relationships with friends that aren't real friends, George. They ain't helping you pay the bills.
Get rid of them.
Get rid of them. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw. I'm joined by the ever lovable George Camel.
I love to see what the intro is going to be every hour. It's always a journey.
You never know what it's going to be.
Ever lovable is not something I've been called before, so I appreciate that.
That's what it is. Give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225. George will give you great advice. He might get a little snippy on you.
I think you're more likely to get snippy. I'll cut you with snark.
He'll cut you with the snark. We're going to take a call. We got Kara from Detroit, Michigan. What's going on, Kara?
Hi there. I had inquired about long-term care insurance. One option that I was introduced to is called variable universal life insurance policy with a long-term care rider. So basically, I could put a sum of money, say $75,000, in. It would be invested in mutual funds. I could allow it to grow for about 40 years. When and if I needed long-term care, that would get multiplied by 4, and that becomes the amount I can use for long-term care. So my question is this worth looking into, or is this more the whole life insurance side that you guys advise us to avoid?
It is. It's more of the cash value whole life insurance side that we would tell you to avoid. But can I just say, I love that you're thinking about long-term care. How old are you?
I'm 45. I know it's early, but I'm just a little hyper-focused right now on getting all my ducks in a row due to some family storms that I've had. So it's just something I looked at, not really knowing when I should look. And then this was an option introduced to me because of my age.
Yeah. Usually with long-term care, we suggest not even putting it into effect until the day you turn 60 years old. It tends to be pricey. But that's the time where you want to lock it in. So you would be early to the game on that. And in the meantime, just pick up a term life insurance policy.
Yep, I do have that. So I really wasn't looking at this for the life insurance portion. It was more for the long-term care. So I'm all set with the life insurance piece. I just wasn't sure if I should.
Who sold you on this scam then?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't proceeded with it. It's just something that was introduced to me.
Yeah.
But where was it introduced from? Was it a person? Did you find it online? I'm just curious as to how you stumbled on it.
Yep, a financial advisor.
Are you single?
Yes.
Okay. Can I just ask you a few questions? Because what I'm thinking here is, it sounds like you're kind of a savvy person who's trying to do the best they can with their money. Do you have any debt?
I do not.
You do not. Here's the thing. If you keep going the way you're going, you might be at the point where you could self-insure through this. If you really, by the time that point comes, if you're still, unmarried, or, maybe you do get married and he's got his money in order as well, you might get on down the line and you have a couple million in retirement and you're able to self-insure through this. But and the way it's going, it might be that way, but I definitely wouldn't give my money to a universal life insurance for them to invest it at a crappy rate of return, where you could invest your own money, the same amount, and get a much better rate of return and control what the money is invested in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think what got me. Oh, sorry.
Continue.
Where they say it multiplies by 4. I think that was kind of what.
It's a lot of BS and empty false promises on their end, honestly.
Okay.
You can do so much better investing yourself in the stock market through mutual funds than any return. Because guess what? They're getting their fair share through the super high maintenance fees, all kinds of fees that are baked in there. And so your cash value starts to get depleted. And over time, that premium keeps going up, which eats away at your cash value. And so it's a terrible, terrible scheme they're running over there. And your financial advisor is actually just an insurance agent that's cosplaying as a financial advisor. And so I would recommend you very politely but firmly and kindly fire them and find someone who has your best interest at heart. Because truthfully, anyone selling you a variable life insurance policy, it has their commissions at heart.
Man, that's so true. And think about it. You're 45 years old. If you took whatever sum of money that you were going to invest in this and you let it sit in the stock market for the next 20 years, the rate of return for the S&P 500 for 20 years has been about 9.87%? Somewhere around there is the average annualized return on that. So that's good to know that that's what you could, if you find the right mutual funds to invest in, I would rather do that and have control over it than give it to, some joker who's in insurance but pretending to be, some sort of investment advisor.
Okay.
How's that make you feel?
Good. I mean, I want to know. I want to know the truth. You know, I don't want everything to just sound good when I'm, looking to buy.
Well, here's the good thing is we don't make a commission on this. We're just talking to you as good friends. And so I kind of feel like sometimes that's the one advantage we have, George, is we don't make a commission on giving you guys the advice.
And
we're just here to help.
I'm so glad we're on the front end instead of you calling us saying, hey, I took out a variable universal life policy with a long-term rider, and now I feel like I got screwed. Help me get out of it. I'd much rather help you avoid it on the front end.
Okay.
You're doing a great job. So just stay the course. Don't fall for any traps. You're doing so well. And they're going to use kind of fear-mongering tactics to tell you, you're not going to be able to afford this. You need us. You need this long-term care rider. You need this insurance policy. But the truth is they're going to eat up all of your wealth through fees and commissions that you are going to call us 10 years from now going, I can't retire because I put all my money into this stupid life insurance policy.
That's true.
Jay, this stuff drives me crazy, and I actually been working on a piece for this for our YouTube channel.
Let's hear it.
And let me just tell you what's going on here. So all of these universal life policies, they're now being pitched as wealth-building tools.
I know.
On
I
TikTok.
see it on yes. I see it all the time.
There's a blonde girl, and she's like, you're supposed to use life insurance while you're alive. That's why it's for your life. It's called life insurance. And I'm like,
that sounded just like her.
Thank you. I don't know what that says about me, that I do a great annoying female, but there it is. So these policies are often sold to the naive, they're gullible, they're vulnerable, and they're sold by these insurance salespeople who are using the title financial advisor. Red flag number one.
That's a lie.
Yes. I don't know how they're legally able to do that. And here's the truth. Wow. This is crazy. I found out. It's not regulated. And so it's up to the states to patrol all of these life insurance scams out there. And so they're pitched with all these benefits, right? Risk-free growth, except they lose value due to the fees for years before they break even. So there's a floor, Jade. So they say, well, you can't lose money. It's a 0% floor. The stock market's down, you don't lose any money. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But guess what? When the stock market's up, you're capped.
Yes. Good point, George. So please talk about that.
The market was up like 28% in 2021. But guess what? You had that life insurance policy. You were stuck at 7% growth.
Yeah. 7%.
And so it's insane. Mm-hmm. So on top of that, there's these tax-free inheritance, except your inheritance is already tax-free up to $11 million. Infinite banking. You're just borrowing your own money with interest. How dumb are you to borrow your own money with interest?
Wow.
Don't fall for this, y'all. Run away. Term life is the only way to go. Invest the difference. Thank me later.
Yeah, insurance is not meant for you to build wealth on. Insurance is meant to replace your income for those who depend on your income so that if you pass away, you can still take care of them even after you're gone. That's the purpose of income or of insurance. It's not here to make you, Scrooge McDuck out here. This is The Ramsey Show. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Ramsey personality Jade Warshaw, joined by George Camel. And the number to call in if you want to talk about what's going on in your life and your money is 888-825-5225. Now, here's the thing. I just want to stop for a moment, George, and say thank you to all the folks who listen to the show. Maybe you're watching it on YouTube. Maybe you're on that podcast. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We sincerely pray that this is helpful to you, that it's helping you move the needle in your financial situation, or at the very least that it's entertaining you, on your drive, to and from work, if nothing else. What does Dave say? Some say the advice is worth what you pay for it. But if you love the show, we just want you to keep sharing it. Look, we asked you a while back to start sharing the show, and I feel like we went from like number 15 or 17 all the way up to number 11. You guys have really moved the needle, and we're grateful for that. So if you love the show, like it. Like, click the little like button or the little check mark, whatever it is on your platform that you're listening to it. Share it with somebody else and just let somebody know how much you enjoy this show. We would sure enjoy that. And if you've never left a review, go ahead and leave a review for us as well. But just know, make it nice, please. Don't say anything rude, because George, he's a pit bull. He might.
Don't come at me and my people.
Yeah, he might bite your ankle on it. So
I'm more of a Chihuahua.
That's what I'm saying, biting the ankles.
But I feel like a pit bull, like that's aggressive and scary. A Chihuahua is just like, I ain't messing with that thing.
All right, I'll be the pit bull and you be the Chihuahua. There we go. So George, you're
I can't help it. People send me this stuff on the internet and I go, this made me laugh. I want to share it with America and with you, Jade.
Okay, what is it?
You have not seen this, but this is a headline that just tickled me. Angry Morgan Wallen fan sends the singer a $4,000 bill for a canceled show. So if you don't know, Morgan Wallen is a big country singer out there.
What's one of his songs?
I couldn't tell you, Jade. I don't listen to that.
Okay. I just want to check because I don't know who the heck this is.
I don't know, but he's a big country singer. He was on The Voice or something like season 6, which again, I don't watch that show. So this woman though, Morgan Wallen, everyone's sitting there at the concert, and on the screen appears this message saying, Morgan Wallen has lost his voice. He can no longer perform. Get your refunds at point of purchase.
Oh.
So everyone who has traveled to this concert, paid all this money, is now very upset.
Because they only get the ticket price back?
They get the ticket price back. And so one woman named Mandy, who attended the concert, posted on Facebook and tagged the singer with her express wish to pay for everything from their outfits to gas. And so she said, since you're offering refunds, here's our itemized bill for you. And she listed out on her Facebook post all of the expenses. We'll put it on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. Hotel, $560. Makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
Tracking so far. Gas, 2 tanks, $80.
Okay. Hotel gas. Okay.
4 tickets, $1,600. Who's paying $400 to see Morgan Wallen? I truthfully don't know.
I don't know because I've never heard of the man.
That's some Taylor Swift money, okay?
$400?
My outfit, $120. Husband's outfit, $218. Oxford Grill House, $235.
Is that a restaurant?
Cracker Barrel, $40. No. Los Paraleros, $45. Rebel Rags, I don't know what that is, but I don't want to go there.
That's clothing, I think.
Because they wouldn't have the opportunity to go had it not been for the concert, $629. Drinks at the concert, before it started, by the way, $220. Morgan Wallen merch, $235.
Whoa!
Grand total, Jade, $3,982.
I gotta take my shirt off. I gotta take my jacket off.
Y'all, can you imagine billing an artist for $4,000 for your own stupidity? And she put her Cash App right there in the post going, I'll expect my refund tomorrow. Thanks, bro.
Thanks, bro?
Yeah. And she ended it with there's some expletives in there. It's a family-friendly show. But she said, my husband has gone with me to 2 concerts ever in the 17 years we've been together. Somehow I talked him into this one, and this happens.
Well, she's got...
So what do you think, Jade? Is she entitled to a refund for all of the other expenses outside of her tickets?
No. She's got moxie. She's got some grit there. I'll give her that. But here's the thing. Yes, it would be nice if they gave a little bit more than the ticket price. As a vocalist, I can say sometimes you just get laryngitis.
You've performed many times.
I've had to cancel 2 shows of my own volition in my life, and I hated every moment of it. And one of it because I had laryngitis, and everybody got back their ticket price. But I just want to know, and can you guys put in the comments wherever you're watching, do you buy new outfits for a concert?
I didn't know this was a thing.
Do you buy a whole new outfit? Now...
She's not on stage. No one's looking at what she's wearing, but she wants to feel cute. Okay.
And all the eating out, they chose to do that. Morgan Wallen didn't tell him that they had to go to Roadhouse or Texas Grill or wherever they went.
The most hilarious part is the cheapest expense on this whole list is Cracker Barrel. So
well, of
represent
course.
Cracker Barrel, beating inflation out there.
They're like, we're going to get our dumplings. We're going to make sure we get our chicken and dumplings.
You know, I'm looking at it like you paid for a trip that you weren't expecting to take.
Yeah. You did.
Know? And you missed out on the concert.
You missed out on the concert.
Ticket price back. But she's getting her ticket price back, so $1,600 is back. Mm-hmm. So I think it's unfair to say that she needs $4,000 back. She's already getting the $1,600 back.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Look, it took spunk for her to step to Morgan Wallen like that, but I'm glad that she did.
It took spunk to admit all of that spending happened within a 24-hour period. I don't think I would be able to spend $3,000 in 24 hours.
No, me neither. I want to know her budget. And the fact that she called him bro at the end is pretty special.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, drinks at the concert. I mean, what are y'all getting? Are they charging like $19 for Bud Light these days?
They're turning up. Oh, gosh.
That's a lot for me. So here's the teaching out of this, if there is one.
Teach it.
Posting on Facebook maybe won't solve anything. My question is, are people now going to send her money to her Cash App as kind of a joke? And she's now going to make like $20,000.
This is going to be a GoFundMe moment.
So there's one.
Wow.
But number 2, budget for your trips and concerts and don't spend willy-nilly. Like, if you were on a budget and you spent that, that's fine. Clearly, they were just spending willy-nilly, probably putting this on credit cards.
That's right. And here's another teaching point, because this reminds me of the folks who were taking out 401k loans to go see Beyonce.
I heard about that.
You can't do this. We can't spend $3,000 on
Listen, you
want
to spend that kind of money to see Queen Bee, you're gonna be broke.
You're going to be broke. Good job, George. Oh, man. Dude, let's take a call. We got to take somebody's call. Matthew from San Antonio, Texas. Get us on track, buddy.
Hey, how are you guys?
What's going on?
Hey, so I'm trying to figure out, I have 2 high school kids, and I'm trying to figure out what kind of savings account that I need to set up for them for their future. I know you guys have talked about compound interest savings accounts, and I don't know where to find one, and I don't know how much to put into it, or how much they are going to be putting into it, because we're trying to teach them better spending habits and things of that nature, because Mom and I are doing financial piece as well.
Awesome.
What are your thoughts?
So this is for them to save money. This is not like college savings. This is just to help teach them about managing their own money. Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah, their college is already paid for.
Okay.
Awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And where are you guys at financially?
Well, we're in the Army. I'm in the Army. Mom stayed home. And we're working on our financial piece because we have 3 mortgages, and we're just getting started. We're a couple months into it.
Okay. Do you have any debt other than the mortgages?
About $18,000. All of our cars are paid for, and just credit card debt.
Okay. And how old are the kids?
17 and 15.
Cool. And are they wanting to have this discussion, or is this something you're wanting to teach them?
They're pretty financially driven with this day and age and this generation. So we're kind of pushing it towards that, and they're looking at. So when I told my daughter the potential that she has to be able, in 20 years to be a millionaire, her ears perked up, and she was like, "Oh, really?" And I'm just basically trying to teach my girls that they don't have to be financially dependent on a man or
Amen.
anything.
Are they working right now? Do they have earned income?
Yeah, so one of them is a babysitter, and the other one has a job. My 17-year-old's got a job at a retail store.
Love it. I think you open up a Roth IRA for them, and they can watch that money grow very slowly over time. And you can get with one of our SmartVestor pros at RamseySolutions.com. And they love teaching young people about compound interest, how to set this up, how to choose the right mutual funds. And I'm proud of you, man. That's awesome.
That's
Changing
really
your family tree. A 15-year-old opening a Roth IRA.
Okay.
Let's go.
I love that. And their college is paid for too, so they're going to come into the world with no debt.
They're going to have so much money, they're going to just run out of places to give it away.
Man, what a wonderful world. This is The Ramsey Show. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Ramsey personality Jade Warshaw, joined by George Camel, fellow Ramsey personality. Give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225, and we'll take your calls talking about your money situation, man. Maybe you're having issues with budgeting. Maybe your spouse is tripping and they're not on board with the plan. Maybe your kids, whatever it is going on in your money situation, give us a call. We want to talk about that. And let's go straight to the lines. Let's go to Bobby in Albuquerque, New Mexico. What's going on, Bobby?
Hey, guys. I just had a question. Actually, financial peace saved my marriage about 7 years ago.
Wow.
So I owe a lot to you guys.
So cool.
But yeah, my wife and I, we've done your plan. We've been following it. About 5 years ago, I left my job, which I rolled my 401k over to an IRA. My current job that I have, I have a fully funded 401k. I'm actually putting 10% on it. Mm-hmm. I'm also part of the National Guard, which I have 5 more years, and then I get that nice pension. And then, so my question, and we have no debt. And my question is, that IRA that's been sitting there, I think we lost like 15K in the past like couple of years. Would that be better to put it against, throw it against my mortgage, because we owe about 160 left on our house. Last time we had it appraised during COVID, we got like a 2% rate. Now we owe 160 on it. We did the Zillow or Zestimate or whatever homes.com where they kind of measure it out. It says it's worth like 350. I'm like, the way I look at it is I'm losing money on the IRA and my home going up. Would it be good to, cash out that IRA, take those penalties?
Well, you didn't lose any money in the IRA. You don't lose money unless you take it out.
Yeah, and it's not going to remain that way. It's going to shift and go up at some point.
Okay.
I can't time the market, but I can tell you that it will.
42.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I've been thinking too. Is like, it was just one of those things. I'm like, do we want to pay off the house and be completely debt free, and just kind of ride off in the sunset on that? Or
here's the problem: you're robbing Peter to pay Paul here, because you are severing your retirement account if you do that. Mm-hmm. You're going to have income taxes plus a 10% early withdrawal penalty, all to have a paid for house, but now you can't retire.
No. So this IRA is from a previous job, a 401k that I had. I still have my current job, 401k, that I'm still contributing, that's fully funded and healthy.
It's still retirement savings, though, and you would still be on the hook.
What that 160 would turn into, if you just left it alone, you're going to be punching yourself in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Now, here's the thing. What's your income? I mean, let's talk. You wanting to pay off your home is a good idea. Let's just talk about the right way to actually accomplish that. So what's your take-home pay?
So I make about $140 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So how quickly can you pay off 160?
And then my guard pay too, so that's another like 10 grand. So I guess like around 150.
All right.
A year.
So let's make a plan that you're intentionally paying off this house well before schedule. Now, I did have one question. Did I hear you say that you said you have a fully funded retirement and you're contributing 10%? Did I hear that?
Yeah. On my 401k, yeah.
So on baby step 4, we would say contribute 15%.
15%. Yeah, I think I missed that one.
Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to throw that in there. It was just something I heard off key. But
so the other 5. I'm sorry. So I have all my notes here. Sorry. So I also have a TSP, which is I guess the military's version of that, which I do another 6%.
Oh, okay. So that's
from the military pay.
Okay. So you're at 16%.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, thanks for clarifying that. But yeah,
so with your income left over, how quickly can you pay off this house? Well, based on my estimations, this thing's gone in under 3 years. This mortgage.
Because what we do, I mean, since we refied or whatever, we were doing the whole 13th payment, and then we'd do like a lump sum, try to at the end of the year, to try to get it paid off faster. But yeah, the 3 years, that's.
I would just put it on, if you can get it on auto pay, so every month you pay your mortgage, have extra on the principal every single month, and then see if you can up it for the next month and up it for the next month. Because if you can start doubling up on mortgage payments every month, could you guys do that?
I think it's possible. I think we can definitely do that.
You've got to decide.
But yeah, because my wife's a stay-at-home mom, and we send the kids to school, but like in between like their college fund and everything else expenses, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can double up on payments.
You've got to pick the right place to feel the pain. You wanted to pay off the home mortgage, which is a great idea. You were wanting to pull from the 401k, not realizing how much pain that truly would cause you. And now George is suggesting another idea that's, maybe a little bit more intense, also intentional. And there's a level of pain associated with that too, because it's like, wow, now I'm seeing how I'm spending my money. I might have to cut back on certain areas if I truly want to get this home paid for quickly. And so just understand there's pain on both sides. One is a good pain and one is like a stupid pain. So the pulling from the retirement, although you feel like you don't feel that pain, it's huge. But what George is suggesting, you're feeling that pain in the moment, but just know that that's ultimately the smartest solution here, because there's no negative drawback of it other than just you deciding, okay, I'm going to do this instead of that. There's no penalty. There's no fee. There's no, I wish I had, and there's definitely no loss of interest.
Yeah, and go use our early mortgage payoff calculator at RamseySolutions.com, because based on my napkin math, you put $4,500 a month towards the mortgage, it's gone in 3 years. You put $5,000 towards it, it's gone in 2.5 years. And that will put some pep in your step where you can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Thanks for the call, Bobby. That's a great call. Yeah, I think that's just one of those things, George. I think sometimes people feel that urgency. They want to get something done really quickly in their finances. And it's almost like you're just looking for any other option.
Any shortcut you can find, even if it means pain later. Yeah. I'll take some joy right now, but it's not the right way to do it.
That's right. It's not the right way. I think we've got time for another call. Let's see. We got Kate in Charlottesville, Virginia. What's going on, Kate?
Hey, Jade. Hey, George. It's so great to speak with you guys.
You too. What's going on?
Thanks. I'm calling because I want to know if my husband and I can go on vacation in March of 2024.
Thank you for asking for our permission first. We appreciate that. March of 24. Okay, are you guys debt-free?
So that's kind of the question. I'm not sure if we're debt-free or not.
Well, do you have... Debt is money that you owe to anyone for any reason.
Okay, so really the only debt that we have is on land that we want to build a home on.
Okay.
All right. How much money do you guys have in the bank?
We have about $75,000 in the bank.
Wow. What's left on this land loan?
We owe $208. We want to throw $25,000 of that 75 at the land loan, make 25 of that our emergency fund, fully funded emergency fund.
Okay.
And then we have a little bit left for, I guess it is kind of like debt. We have money to pay off some work that was done, but the person hasn't collected yet.
Okay.
So we're holding back that 25
Good.
for that person.
What's your income?
We bring home about $74,000 between the two of us. I am applying for more work at this point in time after listening to you guys for the last couple of months. So,
what's the vacation going to cost?
We're thinking
$7,000.
Yes.
A year from now, basically.
Yes.
The land is your only...
It's a music vacation for those music lovers. It's music.
Wow.
It's going to be their Lake
Hopefully
Street
not a
Dive.
Morgan Wallen concert.
Here's the thing. You've got you've got this land. I think that in 2024, hopefully you've made more gone forward with it and paid off more of it. If you're spending $7,000 on a vacation, make sure you're paying cash and make sure you've got that 3 to 6 months saved. That's what I would do.
If it's above the emergency fund, it's not messing with your other goals. Pay cash for it. Don't put it on the credit card. Do use debit. You don't want to be paying for this vacation 6 months after you've taken it.
I know, especially if they cancel the concert. This is The Ramsey Show. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw, Ramsey personality. Sitting next to me on my right, George Camel, fellow Ramsey personality. And as always, we're taking calls here, man. Your life, your money. Give us a call, 888-825-5225. The scripture and quote of the day. But Jesus often withdrew to the wilderness for prayer. I love that. Sometimes you got to go to the wilderness.
Yeah, what was that from?
Luke 5:16. Yeah, I remember that one. All right, we've also got this one. It says, thousands of tired, nerve-shaken, over-civilized people are beginning to find out going to the mountains is going home. That wilderness is a necessity. That's John Muir. Is that how you say that? Muir?
I got to get out more, Jade. I think that was shots fired from the team.
I think it was. They're telling us we need to go on vacation and we need to go to the mountains, apparently. But I like that. Sometimes you do need to withdraw a little bit.
Get some fresh air.
Get a
out
little
of the
bit
headlines.
of fresh air. And not to mention, when it comes to kind of doing good habits and doing things for yourself, let me talk about this. It says, so you think you found your dream home. But before you sign those closing papers, make sure you steer clear of these common first-time home buyer mistakes, navigating home buying with ease and avoid the pitfalls when it comes to buying your new home sweet home. So this is how you do that. You need to simply sign up at ramseysolutions.com/newsletter and go ahead and subscribe to our Sunday newsletter and learn how to avoid making these common home buyer mistakes. Guys, subscribe to that. Every month, there's new tips, new things to just make your life easier.
An amazing team that's churning out super helpful content.
Yeah.
I'm like, Google it, bro. We got great stuff.
Honestly.
Sitting right there on the RamseySolutions.com website through the newsletter. So check it out.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's really great. It'll make your life better. It'll help you. It will help you learn. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Again, 888-825-5225. We've got Jamie from St. George, Utah. We were just over in the Salt Lake area. What's going on in your world, Jamie?
Hi, so glad to talk to you guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
My question is, are we too old, and are we dreaming too big too late? And the reason why I say this is because I have been binge watching and listening to everything Ramsey for the last week, and I went from gazelle focus, totally excited, to absolute fear because we have absolutely nothing. We have 8 kids. We've already failed the oldest 3, although I hope to be able to teach them these things too. But we still have 6 younger ones, and I like everything in me. I haven't heard anybody with like our place, and I feel like I'm gonna fail the budget. I've never done one before in my life. I'm just kind of like I'm a stay-at-home mom and homeschooler, so I'm kind of like, are we too old? Are we too late? Is this gonna happen?
How old are you? Because you have the energy of a 17-year-old.
Oh, thank you. I'm 40. I'll be 42.
Oh my gosh.
47.
How are you still alive?
You're a newborn baby.
You should run for president. You're so old.
Well, it feels like
Who
that.
told you you were old at 40? Jamie, who told you that it was too late for you?
Look, she's at home with these kids. She is feeling it right now. That's what it is. Yeah. These kids are running her ragged.
Well, because I feel like I failed our older 3 already. We can't help them pay for any education whatsoever.
Hey, hold on. I've heard you say the word fail too many times in this short period of time, and I want you to stop saying that.
Okay.
Nobody talks to our friend Jamie like that,
I don't
especially
like that.
not Jamie.
Exactly. Stop using that word fail, because we're learning out here. We're learning.
Yeah.
And
also, there's like a 75-year-old listening right now who's offended that you said you're old.
Okay, I know that's right.
I'm so sorry to a 75-year-old.
Let's roll this thing out, because the goal is for us to debunk everything that all the fears that you've just laid out. So let's look at the finances here. You got 8 kids. What's the household income?
We're at about 55 right now. I'm currently looking for a job. I'm door dashing, trying to add as much income as I can while still being able to be at home. I mean, daycare is way too expensive for me to go out and get an outside job.
Okay, so how much is the debt that you guys are facing?
$58,000.
$58,000.
What kind of debt is it? Give us the breakdown.
We have $17,400 across 7 credit cards. We have a $7,800 car note, $5,000 in medical, and my stupidity, $27,000 in student loans.
How much in student loans again? Sorry, I was writing all that down.
$27,000.
$27,000 in student loans. All right. I thought you were going to say a lot more debt than what you said. So I'm glad that it's $58K, because look, here's the thing. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. Your girl talking to you right now, I paid off $460,000, and the income at the time when we started was $30,000. So when I tell you all things are possible, all things are possible. And it might require you, it probably is going to require you to pick up some extra work whenever you can find it. And I'm not going to sit over here and act like I know when that is, because you've got 8 kids and I've got 2. So whatever that looks like for you and your husband, if you want to get this done quickly, you do need to increase your income. And you can start thinking about ways that you could do that. But in the meantime, you've been listening to us for the past few weeks. We're going to tell you what we tell everybody else to do. You got to walk through these baby steps. Thing one is you got to get that $1,000 saved. I don't know if you've done that yet, but put aside $1,000. Most people can get it done in 30 days. If they're selling things, going scorched earth, the kids, let them know we're eating noodles with butter this month. Like that's on the menu. Okay. And so that's what that looks like. And then we're going to work this debt through this debt snowball. We're going to list them smallest to largest, not by interest rate, balance only, smallest to largest. So your smallest balance looks like it's this medical debt, right? The $5K?
Or is it a baby credit card?
It's baby credit. We have like two 700 to 1,700. So
good. You'll knock those out real fast.
Yeah, it seems like that is definitely possible.
Do y'all have any money outside of the 1,000? I feel like you do.
No, we have nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
Anything you can sell?
Just 1,000. No, we don't really have many quality things. I mean, I could probably muster out, 4 or 5 low cost things to sell, but other than that, not really.
Okay. What's he doing for work?
He works for a city locating utilities under the ground.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I hope, I've been looking for jobs like crazy, and I'm hoping to be able to at least add up to $20,000 a year.
Yes.
From the jobs that I've been able to find. So, I'm no stranger to work.
Yeah, that's incredible. I think if you can do that, you've got to do that. And, I've taken this question a couple of times, even on my Instagram, sometimes dealing with single moms or people who are really just at the brink. And it's like, okay, there does come a point where it's like you're doing all that you can. You've taken all the extra jobs. It doesn't make sense to do this because of daycare. There does come a point where it's like, okay, I'm bringing in what I feel like is the amount of money. And then you just got to ride it out, man. That at some point, it's like, I've just got to ride the train until I get to the stop. And sometimes it is like that. I do think you can get your income up more. But you might not be making $150K when this all shakes out. You might be at 80 or you might be at 90, but keep going down that field and keep pushing forward, because you might get your income up more than what you ever thought possible. But here's the thing, the time is going to pass. So we've got to keep going hard. We've got to keep being intense about this. And it might not go as fast as you want it to go. You guys have 8 kids, and that's a choice that you've got to deal with. And so it's about finding ways to get that income up, getting the expenses down, and just walk through this snowball. And at the end of the day, not taking on any more debt, drawing that line in the sand and saying, this is it. I'm not borrowing any more money. My husband and I, it took us 7.5 years, Jamie, to pay off our debt. So this might be a journey for you, but it's a journey worth going on, because at the end of the day, like I said, the time is going to pass. So go on the journey and go on the ride and get this debt paid off. Are you guys using a budget?
Yeah, for the first time in my life, I did April, which was a lost cause, but I was just trying to look and see what happened in April and find money. And so I'm working on the May one to get that going.
Is he on board with this? This feels like a Jamie plan so far.
Yeah, it definitely started with me. But I have been trying to tell him our why. And he is definitely getting on board more each day.
Good. Well, I'm going to make it easier for you. We're going to gift you Financial Peace University for 1 year, as well as every dollar premium.
Yes.
But I'll leave you with this. The best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago. The second best time to plant it is today. You can do this, Jen.
Oh, thank you.
You got this.
Thank you.
I actually really love that quote, George. That was deep.
It's not too late. But we got to stop looking to the past.
That's
start
right.
looking to the future.
And you're not a failure. You'll never get anywhere with that kind of language. And that's for any of y'all listening. Be nicer to yourself and give yourself some grace out here. All right, that does it for this hour. Be sure to join us next time. And remember, when it comes to your life and money, you can tell me that you won't do it, but please do not tell me that you can't. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. Look, if you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.